welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Amanda and I am a pediatric occupational therapist. Today I wanted to take a little deep dive into how I got started in occupational therapy, where I am currently at as far as life updates with my career and within my own life, and just what you guys can expect from this channel and from me in the future. A little bit about me. I am originally from Pennsylvania, a small little town outside of Scranton. For those of you that are Office lovers, yes, it is the Electric City. I have never fully watched The Office, but I know some of the episodes are super funny. That's always my fun fact whenever anyone asks me questions. When I was in high school, I really wanted to go into healthcare and a field that was going to help people. I had always felt this drive to be in that sort of profession, but being from a small town, I feel like there wasn't a ton of understanding of the options that existed out there. So I got pushed a lot from professors and mentors to go into med school and to have a degree in biology. And so I took their advice and I went to the University of South Carolina, go Gamecocks, with a degree in biology. I ended up switching after my first semester to be exercise science with a minor in psychology, which I'm really happy I did that because after like a few months of being in undergrad, I realized that I wanted to go more of like the therapy route. So exercise science just helped align my courses and everything for applying to schools later on down the road. So I really, really loved being at the University of South Carolina, and I just loved exercise science and psychology and all the courses I took. And now looking back, hindsight, I use so much psychology in all of my interventions and daily interactions I have with children and families. So it has been so helpful. When I graduated from the University of South Carolina, just before graduating, I had been applying to schools, getting interviewed. I had to take the GRE, which I'm not sure if you have to take the GRE anymore to get into OT school, but at the time you did. So I was doing all of that to prep, ended up getting into 2 different schools. Well, I didn't get into 2 different schools. I applied to 2 different schools and I got waitlisted at my number 1 choice, which was MUSC, the Medical University of South Carolina. I wanted to go there so bad. I did personally reach out to the dean asking if there were any way that I would possibly get off the waitlist for that semester. But in the meantime of all that, I had gotten accepted at the University of St. Augustine for health sciences, and the dean ended up reaching back out and kind of just being like, hey, I think you're better off just going with a school that you already have gotten into. We're not sure if you're going to get into our program based on, our wait list of kids coming in this year. So I think you should go for it. And I am so, so happy I did. Sometimes, not getting what we want ends up opening different doors to life, because I made some lifelong friends, some amazing experiences in St. Augustine, Florida. Spent 2 years getting my master's degree in St. Augustine. 6 months of that, give or take, was spent on clinicals, 2 clinical rotations, 1 in pediatrics and 1 in acute care. And then I graduated in 2019 and studied for the board exam for about 6 weeks or so. Passed on my first try, which I was so proud of myself for. I swore that I was not going to pass my boards. Like after I walked out of that exam, I was like, I could have gotten every single question wrong. I don't even know. And a couple days later, I got my score results and I had passed with flying colors. So I was super excited. I had already had a job lined up at an outpatient pediatric / inpatient acute setting. So I was really hopeful I would pass and get started just with my student loan debt. I needed to start working ASAP. So I started my first job, which was amazing because I had such good mentors there at that first job, working for a hospital system. Even though I wasn't full-time staff, like I wasn't salaried, I was hourly, I was still working 40 hours a week, and it definitely gave me a lot of space and freedom to ask for mentorship and to have OTs like either sit in on my sessions or let me sit in on theirs while I was training. And I just built so much knowledge in that first year of practice. And then COVID hit, and there was just a lot going on within the company and within, the positions that my supervisors played. And when I tried to ask for a raise or to decrease my caseload a little bit because I was feeling really overwhelmed, I was kind of met with a halt. So I decided to know my worth and look for a new position, and got hired at a full-time outpatient clinic, making a salary, which was so exciting. I absolutely loved that job. My coworkers, OTs, and speech therapists, the information I learned from them was invaluable. They were great mentors. They were awesome friends. I loved that position as well. But I did feel a drive to want to go and do something where I could be a part of the family unit and help parents a little bit more. Oftentimes when you're doing clinic-based therapy, you don't have a lot of time to educate the families, work with the families, and being in a big sensory gym, especially during COVID, we weren't allowed to have families back there with us because there was multiple kids at a time. And so I really just felt this pull and desire to be more in home with families doing more parent coaching based therapy. So I applied and have been doing early intervention ever since, which is newborns up to age 3. So I started doing a year in Charlotte, North Carolina, where I was living at the time, and moved to Charleston in January 2023 and took a new job doing somewhat of the same thing. Every state has their own early intervention program. South Carolina's is called BabyNet. So I'm working for a company now where we take kids from BabyNet and work with them in Charleston in home. So I have just been loving that. I have been doing that for a little over a year now. But the big life update for me is that at the end of 2023, my boyfriend's job needed to take him to the US Virgin Islands. So we were super excited about the opportunity. We were kind of going back and forth on whether it would actually work or not, but we decided ultimately that this is an opportunity that we're never gonna get again in our life. And his sisters live down here full time, and so we get to spend a lot of time with family. And yeah, I have been working as a hostess and now starting at a jewelry store. But I also, like in my typical day, I do a lot of parent coaching, I do content creation, I am creating some online courses. So it's been really awesome and definitely given me a chance to realize like the opportunities that exist outside of what I have been doing for the last few years as an OT. So some of the things that you guys can expect from me on this page are going to be lots of child development tips, especially focusing on early childhood development, so birth up through like age 5 and 6. A lot of potty training and constipation content. I realized really quickly about a year ago how much lack of information there is for parents and lack of support when it comes to this realm of child development and the understanding of like the science and anatomy behind potty training. It's not quite so simple as everyone makes it seem on the internet or in the books. So I really started to dive into continuing ed courses and research and understanding potty training better so that I could better help society and community, parents, toddlers, all the things. So sensory processing is another big piece, not just of potty training, but of child development. So I will talk a lot about sensory processing. And yeah, if you are a pediatric occupational therapist, this is an amazing space for you to be in. I am so happy you're here. If you are a parent, welcome. I am going to be posting so much great information about child development here on this page. Anybody else, teachers, physical therapists, speech therapists, I do feel like the content I post is going to be really helpful for anybody interacting with children from those early developmental years. So if you're interested, please subscribe to my channel. Also follow me over on TikTok and Instagram because I frequently post little snippets of information on those platforms as well. And keep an eye out for upcoming videos. If you turn your notifications on, you will get notified every time I upload a video. I am planning on creating some type of educational video at least once per week on here. So stay tuned for all of that. If you have any questions, please comment them below, or if you have interest in videos for the future that you would love me to talk about on different topics, please comment those down here. I'll be sure to answer any of those comments that you guys post. I am very grateful that you're here, and I'm happy to have you along this journey on my channel.